Dying Light is a first-person action survival game set in the post-apocalypse. It was created by studio Techland in response to being let go from publisher Deep Silver. With Dead Island being owned by Deep Silver, Techland had to come up with a new game. Dying Light was the direct result of creating a new IP without making it a direct copy of their Dead Island 2 plans. Techland wanted to do something fresh, so with this newfound Techland wanted to do something fresh, so with this newfound unemployment, they set out to create one of the best zombie slaying games, with a big feature. Parkour. Hi, I'm Chaos, and we're going to be taking a dive into why Dying Light rose so high in popularity just for the sequel to fall short to the game we all fell in love with. We're going through the Dying Light games to see if we can figure out what happened to Dying Light 2 and what made Dying Light so great. Dying Light saw massive success to Techland, especially after just being dropped by their publisher. Players couldn't get enough of the first Dying Light. The story was amazing for the style game it was. It didn't focus much on how the zombies got there, but instead on how to stop the spread from the start. But I think that's why the story was so in-depth. It started out figuring out how to contain the virus and turned into something more sinister as you continued through it. You were an agent for the GRE with the sole focus of preventing the virus from getting out of Haran. But the more you went through the story, the more you learned to care about the people of Haran and realize the nefarious tendencies of the GRE. The story was an experience. It was linear, but it brought you through the gauntlet of recognizing who these people were and why you need to help them. Whoever you weren't supposed to like, you didn't. The writers took more care into this story, even for just a zombie apocalypse story. You've seen this story time and time again, but Dying Light just seems to have mastered it in the right way without being a drag to go through. You're excited to continue through the story and see if you could fix the problems of the city. The story was pretty good for a game about slaying zombies. The combat, on the other hand, completely knocked it out of the park. They made all the weapons react as if you were hitting these zombies with them yourself. The modifications may have been primitive, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited to go pick up a brand new blueprint to craft a new upgrade or weapon. That is the best, searching through everything and realizing you found a new way to get rid of the undead more efficiently. You were always on your toes looking for new ways to take care of the undead. There was also another way you could modify your weapons without crafting. You can find mods hidden in containers all throughout the world that weren't craftable, and to be honest, I'd scream like a little schoolgirl if I found a king mod to make my overpowered weapon just that more overpowered. Thankfully, weapons aren't the only way to get rid of the undead. You had your own body to aid in the extermination. You could do the infamous drop kick. Okay, the drop kick's pretty good. I can't lie to you, it's amazing. The best move in any game ever. I stand by that. It's the best move, and I always get tingly when I hit the most amazing drop kick. The way your character reacts to their full force into this double leg drop kick is just fantastic. And after you drop kick your opponent, and that didn't finish the job, you can just run over and do the most aggressive stomp you've ever seen. All the combat just feels so weighty and real. And you can use moves while running away, which is very important at night when you're getting chased at all sides from infected. They rush you from the front, so you have to slide to get away from them, or drop kick a zombie running straight at you. These night chases are all very dynamic, so you never know where the zombies are coming from. All you know is run. And run as you might, they won't stop until you find a safe area. These night chases add so much thrill to this game. The night makes sure to keep you on your toes. These night chases are always terrifying no matter how many times you encounter them. All the weapons are unique in their own ways. If you use a sledgehammer, you have that extra weight with a knockback of a train. But if you were to switch to a sharp blade, oh my god. If you use a sledgehammer that, oh my god. If you use a sledgehammer that has, oh my god. If you use a sledgehammer, you have that extra weight with the knockback of a train. But if you were to switch to a sharp bladed weapon like a katana, you get that amazing single target devastation with easily dismembering the undead one by one. And every weapon in between. All these weapons have their own uses, bar a few exceptions like the pipes and rebar. They're actually useless, like genuinely. They don't really have that much of a use except to get you out of stuff, and you know, I'd never used them except the opening. And all these weapons have rarity, which allow you to get more uses out of repairs, which are hard to find in the early game. But as you go on, the more and more you can find. And the weapon repair system is perfectly executed. You get repairs depending on the rarity of the weapons, with the ability to unlock a skill to not use a repair point. Now, talking about skills, the skill trees in this game are peak perfection. Every new skill you unlock, you find a use for. And as soon as that level up hits, you're excited to see what skill you can unlock next. And it's that kind of excitement that I feel constantly while playing this game. And did I mention how beautiful this game is? Whether you're getting chased at night or during the day when you're just running around kicking undead off the roofs, this game is amazingly stunning, even now. I just like to stop and admire the surroundings of this game. This is a pure work of art that they have made, and dropped zombies into it to make it a game. This game will stand the test of the time. It's absolutely stunning. Now let's talk about the ugly of this game. And boy, there really isn't much. It is mostly specific to me, but I feel it definitely does impact the game. Let's start with the zombies. Most of them are absolutely brain dead, which I guess makes sense. They are zombies, but the fact that some zombies are extremely fast, and I love those ones. They're lethal, but also really easy to get rid of. But these slow zombies just kind of lumber around and head straight towards you. So I don't know why they didn't make the zombies just a tad bit smarter. That's a small gripe though. The really big one is the Demolisher. They made the zombie so tanky, it's not even worth it to fight. And they hold down so many areas that hold barely anything. They're just kind of there to pose a challenge in the story. And they're so terribly made. They have such high health, and one of the easiest ways to deal with them is with firearms. And then you have another big problem on your hands. These Demolishers just seem like a way to make a healthy enemy without thinking of how hard they are to get rid of. And they're just there to make certain areas inhospitable to you. They're such an issue, it's unreal. I've never been a fan of overly tanky enemies. They're just a cop-out, and they have no place being this healthy. Whereas if it was a one-off boss fight, it would have been fine. And the firearms, I didn't bring them up when I was talking about weapons because they are mostly useless, except the shotgun. But the firearms shoot rubber bullets and just attract towards you. They didn't make them one-shot headshot at any level, so they just fall off extremely fast. They become useless in a New Game Plus. And don't even mention using them in Nightmare. These weapons are useful when you find them early, but don't bring them into a new playthrough of the game, unless you want a certified horde magnet. After ripping through some extremely small aspects of the game, to say this game is near perfection in the world of zombie slaying is somewhat of an understatement. This game refreshed zombie slaying when it came out, and is still a massive joy to play. The co-op is a massive improvement, even though it looks jank in animations, but this game has taken advantage of a market that was getting quite stale when it came out, and sprung to life. If that isn't a testament to this game, then I don't know what is. Dying Light will always be an easy recommendation for anyone looking for a zombie game. It's scary when it wants to be, but brutal at other times. So you should definitely get this if you feel like having a hack and slash adventure for lots of fun hours with friends, or a bone-chilling single player, knowing that no one will come and save you. Good luck surviving out there when you pick this game up. Bring a friend if you're scared, or go solo if you're feeling bold enough. Dying Light is one of the best zombie action games out there. You're missing out if you haven't had the experience of this game. Just go get it and play it. It'll be worth every penny. I swear. I promise you. It's still worth it. It's still worth it. Dying Light was revolutionary for its time, and everyone was looking forward to the sequel of the best zombie slashing game. And boy oh boy, did they make the sequel. Genuinely, I think this entire time of people wanting a sequel just gave it more hype for when it came out. I got so excited for the sequel, and plenty of other people were excited too. But to say this game was a complete letdown is a gross understatement. I did make a slanderous review of Dying Light 2, but I just wanted to focus on some of the positives and negatives of this game. And this is going to be difficult, I assure you. Getting a list of positives for this game is a time-consuming process. Let me stop rambling about Dying Light 2 and just get straight into this dumpster fire of a sequel. The story of Dying Light 2 is made from a toddler's notebook. When their mom went on a grocery run and left them home with dad. The constant need for finding family and wondering if you'll ever see them again. Making it your whole personality. This game takes the worst of storytelling and completely amplifies it to such an extreme level of garbage that is such a slog to go through. You feel every single twist and turn coming, and in the end, you feel so unfulfilled. It's gross. Now, this game did brag about its immersive storytelling with a pick-your-own-adventure type of game to excuse the absolute trash of a story, trying to make you feel like your decisions have more impact than they actually have. The designs of the story just feel like they wanted to make the simplest story known to any human being. They tried masking this very surface-level story with no character depth into a 10-hour story without ever making it relate to any of these characters. The problem lies within the fact of such bad storytelling for a game that released 7 years prior. Dying Light released 7 years before Dying Light 2. And this is what they made. They made this story. If this game was released 2 years after Dying Light, it would make sense that it was rushed. But they weren't rushed. They are an independent developer and publisher. They created a horrible story experience that no one asked for. Now I'm going to stop slandering on the story. Okay, it's not worth it anymore. It's terrible. There are no positives to it whatsoever. So let's just get into the combat. The default combat options have enemies with a health bar above their head, and it's so gross when you first see it. Thankfully, they did add an option to remove it, but it shouldn't have even been there. But this is how the developers wanted you to experience this game. The disgusting health bars that doesn't blend in with the game at all, like they were trying to mimic Dead Island health bars, but it just falls so short in many ways. But that is a thing that can be disabled, which is nice, but shouldn't have been a thing anyway. Now to add insult to injury, the weapons match this health bar feel. They're cartoony with no weight hitting enemies. They're just a static object, and your weapons do nothing to them. Weapons just feel like an animation with no attachment to the game world. This is such a horrible way to design a melee-focused game. When you swing a weapon, you should feel the impact on the enemies. You should feel every bone in their body break. But that's too much to ask for from Techland. The creators of an amazing melee experience in Dying Light. That's my bad on assuming that they could just keep the master design from game to game. That's extremely unreasonable on my part, so that's my bad. The weapons have such garbage quality, you don't get to repair them. So once you break your weapons, you find another one with the supplies to put the mods back on it. These mods add a little bit of durability, but you don't want to use a weapon unmodded. Who wants to find the sick weapon and wait to mod it so you get the most out of its durability? These types of designs promote such a lackluster combat experience. There's no joy in upgrading weapons or gear. Your only focus is gathering as many of these weapons as you can find, so you try to avoid all combat at any cost, so you can hold on to your amazing weapons without wasting the durability on low-level zombies. You are so scavenger focused, the combat shouldn't even be in this game. I spent most of my time avoiding low-level zombies just so I can keep the weapons for boss fights. Why would you want to waste that on low levels? There's no point, because you don't lose less durability fighting basic zombies. It's such a weird choice for gameplay. Another downfall of the combat is the less intuitive modding of weapons. You get to choose the elements on the weapons, and the system's so bad. There's no diversity in these mods, so you can upgrade and make them stronger, but there's no discernible difference in these weapon mods. It's such a downgrade from the old Dying Light of finding new blueprints in the world and trying to find a weapon and the parts to use it. This new style prohibits creativity and destroys the whole basis of this franchise. This is a murder to the Dying Light franchise. They should just do a complete combat rework. And I'm not going to bring up the lack of guns in this game because that would just extend this video by double its current runtime.
There's no guns, which makes no fucking sense. You're telling me even in 20 years nobody found out how to make even makeshift guns? And there is one gun. Yeah, there is one gun, but it's ass.
The enemies fare even worse in Dying Light 2, and it's surprising how these enemies are so basic. You got the Demolisher returning and being an even bigger health whore. The basic zombies have become even slower and easier to dispatch. The fast zombies only come out at night. That is if you intentionally go out of your way to start a pursuit. So you can't have just virals chasing you around. You also get volatiles chasing you as well, basically undercutting the ferocity of virals chasing you. You're more scared of the volatiles that you forget that virals are even in this game. The virals have taken such a massive backseat in the sequel, it's laughable. The most feared parts of Dying Light, and it's taken such a backseat there's no point in including them. Virals have created such a fear of explosions and loud noises during the day. You tried to be silent. The day is such a daisy land of apocalypse. There's no fear anymore in Dying Light. They tried to make this game so easy. There are handrails everywhere. You can't die during the day unless you miss a jump or... yeah, that's basically about the only way you could die during the day. Even the human enemies aren't as difficult. Instead of instant blocking in Dying Light, you just straight up miss the humans. No matter how close you are when you're swinging, you just miss. This brings you out of the game so quickly, the instant blocking was a blessing. But when you're swinging at a group of enemies point blank and miss everyone, it makes you just want to put this game down. Now, you may have noticed the footage in the background is just free roaming, with no story and cutscenes, and that's because I just don't want to hurt myself even more with playing this story again. It's such a drag that it makes me not even want to touch this game. Even gathering all this footage for this was a grueling task, and I actually want to uninstall this game. I do. I have to keep it installed until I get this up here. So if you see this, it's not on my computer anymore. So I've gathered all the Dying Light 2 footage right here. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Look how nice that is. I said it was going to happen. I did. Basically, it's gone. That was pretty quick. I thought, you know, I could explain it a little better, but yeah, it's gone. Finally. I'm done with it. This review is over, and I just want to end this on one thing. Dying Light 2 is a failure of a sequel, and if you enjoy it, more power to you. Keep playing your baby games with terrible gameplay dumbed down so a literal child could play it. Never get Dying Light 2. Never. The DLC does not add anything important to this game. Just don't get this game. I'm not overreacting. This game is such a stain on everything that it never works in any world as a sequel to Dying Light. I tried to justify it by saying if this game wasn't titled Dying Light, that it would be fine. It wouldn't. This game is actually the epitome of garbage from AAA studios, so I may have pronounced something wrong. Whatever, deal with it. Actually the epitome of garbage from AAA studios, capitalizing on sequels by losing the touch of what made the original. I'm done with this game. I'm done with this review. I tried to make positives. I did. I tried to make positives for this, and I can't. I'm not reading the script right now. I wrote a script. You could probably tell. And the Dying Light 2 is such a horrible game that you should never play it. Really, never play it. They tried updating it, and none of the updates do anything good for you. The game still feels like garbage. If you made it this far, I'm proud of you. Hey, look at you, making it this far in my videos. The game is actually so terrible. So terrible. But, you know, that's just the way the world goes. Making terrible games for Baby gamers, thanks for watching this video, and if you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't like it, I know. I know. You love Dying Light too. If you like this video, you probably like my other videos. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe and do all that. I have nothing. This game makes me so angry. I have nothing. Thank you for watching. Why are you even still here? I ended this. It's over. There's no more about Dying Light 2. There's no more. I mean, I could cover more of Dying Light 1, but I already have a video for that. So go away. Why are you here?